Hello everyone, welcome to the iSlide PowerPoint review. iSlide is an add-on for PowerPoint which allows you to make a presentation that can be either for business, for school projects, even personal projects, and using either stock images or any of the other library resources that they have, you can create a presentation in a matter of minutes. So now that we have that out of the way, let's get this review going. As a disclaimer, I'm going to be only using the tools for iSlide within this review, and I'm going to try to show you just a general sense of what I found useful, and I'm only going to be able to cover the areas that I believe I understand. However, in the end I will explain why I think this software can improve. So here's the general order of the review. Now I'm going to be using all the tools readily available to me by iSlide. I'm going to try and summarize them because showing an example for all of them would take too much time. And plus, I just want to give a general sense of what they are. Then show the differences between free and premium, which, while I'm showing the tools, you should be able to see what's the differences between free and premium. And lastly, just overall, how do I feel about this and what do I think of the software in general? This is pretty much going to be a blank slide just to show what this software can do. So beginning with the tools, I'm going to be starting left to right. On the left, you'll see the account I've made for iSlide. Next set of tools, you'll see standard specification. It has a bunch of tools that is supposed to kind of be like tidying up and making any loose ends of your PowerPoint to be fixed, such as uniform font. You're allowed to change all the fonts. Let's say you didn't want Arial and you wanted something like Bradley, and then go to force mode due to me using a theme and click apply. And it has changed all the fonts. So with that, you can assume the same. Uniform paragraph allows you to change how things are spaced. Uniform guides deals with the guides that you see on the sides. Uniform color is supposed to swap out colors. Design layout, you can do a lot of things. One of them is actually on the right side, which is design tools, which you can select here within the design layout selection. To give a brief example of what design layout is about, I'm going to quickly create a shape. Well, actually two shapes. And then I can show you examples of what exactly design layout does. Let's start with the easiest design tools. If you've used programs like Photoshop or any of the free versions like GIMP, you should be very familiar with these kind of tools. So like you have your simple alignment, it's aligning to the middle, and then aligning to the middle over here, and then they both should be aligned to the stage. And then you have things that utilizes the guides. So let's say that instead of you aligning the shape to the left of the screen, you aligned it to the left of the guide. And then instead of sticking to the screen on the left, it corresponded the shape to the farthest reach on the left according to the guides. So that was pretty much it for all the design layout tools. Now we can go over theme library. It's giving you a pre-designed set look that consistently gives you multiple slides that you can use for your presentations, and you can use the theme however you want. And let's say that you were only in the free version. You can click on the top right and it'll be giving you the option of either seeing free or premium. So if you were only free, you can go here and check out all the free versions that you can get. Now if you look here, this is the exact same PowerPoint preset that I used for this video. And then you have the choices between downloading the ratio of 16:9 or 4:3 for your screen. The color library is a little bit more complicated, but essentially it's like taking the colors from your theme and swapping it out for another. Instead of the summer colors, we get a more red, I'd say maybe a more modern color look. That's swapping the colors for themes. So it wasn't as noticeable for color library, but pretty much every other library that's available, it will have the difference between premium and free. But for now, let's just try free. So the diagram library is essentially like just downloading a pre-made vector art that you can use for your presentation. So let's say here, I want to download this one. So it gave me the slide, and all I have to do is just click and change everything. So if I were to use this pre-made diagram, I can utilize it like this. I can change the meaning of these pictures by just simply changing the titles and the description. But let's say you wanted to change even the vector art themselves. So let's quickly hop on to the icon library, and there's tons of things to choose from. So like, we're talking about iSlide here, so why don't we just use something like this? Okay, so just go to the icon library, go to a blank slide, and then create an icon here. Cut it, paste it in the slide that you want the icon to be in, and let's quickly change the shape fill since they're both clashing red, and boom. Actually, this should be white since everything else is white. Make it a little bit smaller so that way it matches up with the rest. Oh, and since it's centered, I can do align center, and then boom. So let's say you want to use the smart diagrams. So let's open up the smart diagrams. Just like everything else, let's go free. And since we're going by the theme of iSlide still, let's use this one, where we're going to compare the difference between free and premium. So all we have to do is just select this, click the editor up on top of the smart diagram library, and then you can edit the percentage to whatever you want. So let's say this is going to be showing the differences between free and premium, and let's say the users that are free is 80%. Free green versus premium blue. And then here, I don't even need this text, so I can just delete it. And then there you go. Just with one diagram, I was able to make a really nice, clean, and visual percentage of showing how much people would probably use this tool for free, and then how many people would probably use this for premium. So after creating that diagram, what's next? We have the picture library. So in here we have a bunch of pictures, so let's say that I wanted something to still fit the iSlide theme, so let's say we use this one. We left click to download it, and oh no, it's actually covering the diagram we just made. But luckily with the design tools, I can send it to the back, and then boom, we have our diagram again. We just have to adjust the text so that way it's visible. There you go. We have a diagram with a nice background image. There's also the vector library, in which if you want to make it colorful in the background, we can use this vector art of business. And that's pretty much how the libraries are used. As for the tools, you can use security export, so that way you can save the presentation as an image, you can export it, you can even make it so it's read-only so no one else can edit your presentation. Compress, I thought, was the most peculiar, but also the most useful. It detects whether if you have useless layouts or things that aren't even necessary and clean up essentially your presentation and make it run smoother. So as it's seen here, I have 6 useless layouts and 4 invisible contents. And click apply. And then everything that's been invisible or things that have essentially been wasting space within my presentation is gone. So what could improve? There is a huge language barrier. Like when I'm trying to actually understand the software, I couldn't find any guides. Like when I tried to look up on their website on guides to find out how to use it, I did find this, except it's all in Chinese. And I had to resort to using an add-on called Google Translate, which essentially translates the website to English so that way I can read it. If I were to read the translations, they made enough sense where I can understand how to view it, but it was just really hard to not have tutorials or any set guides to kind of understand any of these when all of the guides are in Chinese. As well as for the PPT groups, it's all in Chinese. Everything's in Chinese. There is no English one. If I were to try and type in English, there is no English tutorials. In a nutshell, I think uniform font can be better if you were to make it more like the font options in PowerPoint. And last but not least, just make it so the smart diagram can have the editor its own button. It doesn't make sense to load the actual library every time when the editor tool can be its own tool. So that was my review. I thank iSlide for letting me review this software. Essentially, premium is not so different from free, but if you like the options of being able to have more diagrams, more possibilities of just quickly generating your own presentation, premium I'd say is worth it. So just to quickly show you the pricings of iSlide, free edition costs nothing. You have all the basic features of the tools. If you want to pay monthly or yearly, here are the prices. The link of their site will be in the description, but there is a lot of untapped resources that I didn't touch in iSlide, and there's probably a lot more uses to the tools that I could have done. However, right now I'd say the biggest problem is that the language barrier between Chinese language and the English language is what prevented me from being able to fully utilize this tool. And I gave my opinions on how it can improve, so hopefully in the future it could improve, but that's all for today. I hope that you found this review helpful and try it out. There's always the free edition, and if you like all the pre-generated content that you can use, then consider maybe doing premium for monthly or yearly. Anyways guys, this is Roboco1. Thank you for watching.